Okay,
Great.
cool. Sure. Let's go. All right.
Let's go.
Hello to the usually 3 to 4 people that watch us.
Hmm.
But we do this more to vent, I guess, out of hopes that someone out there listens to us and gives us money, so we have to quit our daytime jobs. Wow,
Do
that
it.
got depressing. Hi, uh, welcome to another Just Gaming show. Actually, yeah. No, I was thinking like when was the last time we did it, but I don't think it was that long ago. We did like
That wasn't too long ago.
a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like
Um. Okay. So today we are gonna talk a bit about God of War. We're gonna dive into non-spoilers and a bit of spoilers. I'll let you know when we dive to actual spoilers. Because to be fair, the game has been out for 3 months, I think. So no, 3 months, 3 weeks. Jesus, 3 weeks. So I think like the majority of people wanted to play through it did, or are very close to the end. I guess I don't know, but just to be safe, I'll let you know.
that.
We're also going to talk about the Game Awards, which happen next week, and unfortunately, I will be missing out because I'll be in
No.
Switzerland. Yeah, man, I'll be in Switzerland. Completely forgot that my Switzerland trip is it's I go on the 7th and I come back on the 11th, and the Game Awards are on the 8th.
Gonna miss out.
Yeah, man.
Oh well.
And this was the year that I could actually stream again because now I have a
Yeah.
decent PC to do it again.
Yeah.
This is the last time I'm streaming on my old ass PC. Next
Hmm.
time I'll be streaming on a decent one. I'm hoping. No, it will be on a decent one. It will be on this one. If that shit doesn't stream decently, I'm actually just gonna ask for a refund. But nevertheless, I'm missing out, but I'm sure whenever there's another event, you and I will get on it.
Hmm.
Uh, and maybe if the Game Awards like worthy of discussion, we'll discuss it when I come back. But I doubt it. There's never a year where I think it's like worthy of discussing. Even the year where we streamed the Game Awards, we I was more paying attention to the fucking Disney showcase
That was
than
hilarious.
you were too. So I
Ah,
don't know why
that
you're
was
saying
no
that.
both of us. No, I
I
said
remember
both
you
of
were
us.
like, "Hey
No,
Pedro,
both of us.
Pedro,
It was
okay,
really, it was really funny.
take a break from the Game
It was
Awards. They
really funny.
just dropped the Loki trailer. I was like, oh boy, oh shit, let's watch the
Yeah.
trailer.
Hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, we're gonna start by God of War Ragnarok. Obviously, the
Yeah.
game came out November 8th, I want to say, or 9th. Uh,
Mm.
Unfortunately, it did lose to Sonic Frontiers that outsold
Mm.
it completely.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Devastated.
but okay, I think you're like you still playing it. Are you
I'm
still,
just
or did you
finishing
finish
up the
already?
last
Okay,
little bits. Like, yeah, I
this could
won't
be
because
your
we're not
first
talking
platinum,
spoilers.
or are you just
I actually no, I
pl-
think I am gonna try. I am gonna try for it because I'm
oh
actually because I've almost like like the for me the thing that I thought would be the hardest was the crows, and I literally
the
only
crows in
have
this game
like
are way easier. Are
yeah,
way
literally
easier. They
I
did a
have like
better job with it. I
eight or
remember
seven
in
left.
2018,
Yeah.
I assume you're talking about the Odin's Ravens.
Yeah,
Um,
sorry. Yeah, the Odin's Ravens. Yeah.
yeah, I remember 2018. I had to look up guides mostly for the Ravens because I could
Yeah.
not see them for the life of me. And then I
Hmm.
would see in the guide like one was flying above a fucking cloud. Like, bro, how could I have seen that? But here, I
Yeah.
feel like in this game, I barely
Yeah.
checked any Ravens. I think I checked like five just to finish them.
Hmm.
But like most of
Yeah.
them, I did it just by playing and like, oh, there's a Raven there. But yeah, so I'm gonna let you start. Like, what's your
Yeah.
overall thoughts on? Did you play other God of Wars
No,
above
the only
coming
God
in
of Wars.
2018?
Yeah, no, the only God of
Okay,
Wars I've ever played. But
okay,
I remember before I played 2018, I just looked up like
yeah,
cutscenes of
it's
the other
enough.
ones
It's
just so
enough.
I'd have backstory.
Nah, yeah,
But
yeah, it's enough.
yeah, no, I overall like incredible game. I think I have one problem with it that you and I disagree with, but we can talk about that in spoilers.
Oh yeah, it's story related.
The yeah, the like I was telling you, so I messaged you this like the other day. I was like, I think the best way to describe it is like wise, like the way the storytelling is. the
Wise.
dialogue, yeah, wise, like really mature,
Yeah.
very like I've never saw even like when there were jokes, it was I never felt like it was like and I don't want to be pretentious, but like I never felt like it was appealing to like a lower age. It
Hmm.
was very, very like weathered and wise, much like
I mean,
Kratos is at this point.
I'm hoping it doesn't aim at lower ages because
Yeah, yeah.
there's some gruesome ass kill in this game. I
Yeah.
don't think kids should be
No,
playing a
my
game where you literally open a wolf's mouth,
and then
like
rip it
you
out. Yeah,
rip
yeah,
it
yeah.
out his mouth.
No, the my favorite one is when they got creative with the you have like magical arrows, right?
Yeah.
In this game that will if you it will mimic an effect that your weapons do. So one
Hmm.
of the kills is that Atreus shoots magical arrows along the throat of an enemy, and then Kratos uses his flaming
Oh,
blade,
I know what the
and
enemy.
then it just like
Oh
so
my
it
god,
cooks
that's
them
one of
from
the
the
most
inside out.
satisfying ones.
Like,
You like shut their mouth,
jeez,
and
yeah,
your companion
insane. I was
shoots
like,
three
yeah,
arrows, and you
yeah,
use. Oh, that's such a cool
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Oh man, that was
yeah. Hmm.
incredible what they did. But
Hmm.
yeah,
No, but
I
like,
totally agree
like
with you.
the whole thing, I was so impressed. It was almost therapeutic, like that. That's how good the writing was. Where it
Hmm.
would like, especially how they talk about grief and everything, like just absolutely incredible. I'm so impressed, and I'm like, it's not a surprise because the last game did such a good job too. But it's impressive that in many ways, I think they actually topped themselves, which is so cool. Like they could have
No,
easily
I
just
agree.
kind of
I
rested
definitely
and it
yeah.
still would have been really good,
And they
but
kind
they
of did
actually,
gameplay
yeah.
wise.
I know that's the thing too. I've seen a
They
lot of
kind of did
people.
gameplay wise. I feel
Mhm,
like, but the thing to me is, yes, they did. It's mostly the same
mhm,
game, but
mhm.
every aspect of the gameplay of the last game where you're like, they could have done this better, they have done it better. So they
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
improved your
totally.
quality of life in
Hmm.
this game.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, and then like even the little like I know they're like they seem when you say what they changed, they sound like little things, but it adds
it
so much
adds
in the
up.
game
It adds
because when you
everything
unlock,
just becomes like the just
mhm,
makes your experience the best possible way to play a
yeah,
game, which to me is
like
like the best thing.
what's my favorite thing that they added was when you unlock a skill, you then like you get like a bronze tier of that skill, a silver tier, and a gold tier, and then once it reaches a gold tier, you can choose to with experience points, you can be like, okay,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The
I want it to
stuns
have
and
extra stun or
extra
or
damage. Okay, yeah,
my favorite thing was it protects you from being staggered while you're using it because a lot of them have like charge up and wind up but you're vulnerable when you're doing that, and so like I was able to make it that I couldn't be staggered for a lot of the thing. Oh my god, it's so great, and it's again it sounds like a very little minor detail, but it helps my overall enjoyment
yeah.
so much because by the end of it, I felt so powerful. Maybe a little too too powerful, but that's kind of on me because I was playing on normal difficulty. And yeah, like I just
Yeah, there's
I was telling a friend of mine because I was
mhm,
showing it to him, and he's played Elden Ring. He loves that game, and so we were talking about like which
still
one
haven't
game
played.
we thought like how yeah, me too, how it was different from so and so. And I'm like, I agree that Elden Ring, from what I've seen, like revolutionizes its kind of its genre. And this game, nothing gameplay wise has me go, oh my God, like this is so new and fresh and stuff like that.
And I
But I
think
was yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I think most of all, God of War doesn't revolutionize anything. I don't think it's like as
Mhm,
revol-
mhm,
it's not as like special as like Last of Us is. The
mhm,
second one to me, Last of Us. The reason why Last of Us Two for me personally deserved Game of the Year was because how different it was story
mhm,
wise
mhm.
from other narrative driven games. Like
Yeah.
just the idea of putting you not only in the hands of another character that you barely know, but the character that you kind of saw as the villain, and now you're gonna have to play as the villain to experience the rest of the story. To me, that shit was that was something I've never even seen in any game whatsoever. To me, it was revolutionizing. But I don't feel like anything God of War does is like groundbreaking or changes the game for its
Yeah.
genre. It's just
It's just
it just
so
nails
good.
every aspect
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. That's like I was showing him. I'm like, look, nothing in this combat is like, oh my God, I've never seen this before. But it is done to perfection. Like everything to the point where
Yep.
I can't believe I'm usually a PC gamer. I actually think that you would get a lesser experience if you're playing a mouse and keyboard
No,
because of
in
the
this game,
haptic
yeah,
feedback.
yeah.
Like when he does a big heavy attack and it like the sound,
Side
the
note: have you played
presentation.
the Spider Mans on PS5? Because I still feel
Yes,
like
I
Spider
tried it
Man
out.
Miles
I tried
Morales
it
is
out.
better in that aspect,
Yeah, I tried it out real quick when I got my PS5, and yeah, I agree. It's just that much more better.
bro. It's
Um,
incredible. But yeah,
yeah, but like when he does like my favorite heavy attack was when he like whips his chains, and there's like a knockback, and then
oh
you can
yeah,
agree it, and then you can upgrade it to the point where it creates this like chasm of fire that hits and it looks amazing, but then that extra little bit with the controller and the haptic feedback, and it's like you feel the impact. It's so great, and it's
it's
not
great.
new, but it's done perfectly.
Yep.
And I think that's a going to be an interesting discussion about Elden Ring versus God of War Ragnarok, because one revolutionizes its genre and another one does
Perfects it.
its genre to perfection.
Yeah.
And so like that's so cool because it's like that's a really they're
Yep.
very different in what they do.
I
Um
agree. I agree
yeah.
100%.
Mhm. If I had one criticism about the gameplay, and again, this could be on me because I chose to play on normal difficulty.
Is
It
it too
was
easy?
way too easy. Like
No, because I played on
the
Mercy,
yeah,
on Give Me No
give me
Mercy,
yeah.
and especially there's a boss fight that I'm gonna save it for the spoiler chat, but spoiler
Mm,
talk.
was it the
But
one that
there's
we talked about?
I think in Vanaheim
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
it
okay,
was that one.
I
Yeah.
was like, okay, it's gonna be insane. Took me one
Hmm.
try. I didn't even die. I
Same.
wasn't
I
even
didn't
close to
need it.
dying.
No,
And
I didn't even
then
need to
the
use
last
a
boss
stone.
of the game, I was thought, okay, holy shit, it's gonna be
Yeah.
insane. And it was
Hmm.
like, that's fine, I guess. But
Literally didn't even. I didn't even
yeah,
need to use a
I
stone.
died once because
Like,
I misunderstood what I had to do in a segment of the fight. Oh, and that's the other thing. I
oh
think
yeah.
the reason why this game is also easier is because now there's like checkpoints in some boss fights.
Yeah.
Like you
Oh
can
my
die
God.
and go
And you
back and have to just to like do the
full
line and a
health.
half.
You have
And
full
yeah, you
health.
come full health,
That's
full
insane.
rage, full everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But when I finished God of War Ragnarok, I thought to myself, is this better than God of War, the first one? I wasn't even thinking, oh, is it better than Last of Us 2? Because in my opinion, the best PS4 games were Last of Us 2 and God of War. If you ask me
Mm,
which one I prefer, it's one day it's God of War, the other is Last of Us. It really depends. But
mm,
when I finished God of War Ragnarok, I was like thinking to myself, is this better than the first one? And I couldn't find a single reason to say, yeah, it's better on the first one. Nothing. Nothing. Even this, the only thing that maybe could rival the first one for me was the story, because I think God of War, for the fourth one or the 2018 one, story for me was incredible. But this was like on another level. It's like they played off everything that happened in the first one. It's not even fair to like compare it because I look at them as a whole. It's one story. Like Last of Us, I look Last of Us Part One and Part Two as one story. I look at God of War and God of War Ragnarok as one story, because
yeah. Same.
it's just a
Mm,
continuation. Everything that Ragnarok does it is because God of War 2018 happened. Like you couldn't
mm,
have. There's some incredible moments in the game between Kratos and Atreus and other characters that you couldn't have without God of War 2018. It just wouldn't
yeah.
work. And I feel like they did
Mhm,
such an incredible job with its secondary characters, especially one that I think you and I agree was in the first one they were good. In the
cool.
second
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
they were
They
fantastic.
were my
They
favorite
they
character.
weren't my favorite
It,
because
it was
Atreus and Kratos is kind of hard to beat, but
yeah.
they're
No,
like as
I was
close as you can
so
get with their
yeah.
protagonists. They're like
Mhm.
Elena to Nathan Drake.
Yeah. There was a mission which you can skip if you want.
That I
but
was
I
gonna get
didn't.
into that. I was gonna get
Yeah,
into
and
like,
oh my god,
yeah,
that's what made me go. I
that's
think this is
you're
my
saying
favorite
like,
character.
oh, the one thing that I would like say it's better than the first one. No, there's one thing that I think improved in the compared to this one, the open world aspect, or let's call it side quest aspect, whatever you want. The side stuff in this
Yeah.
game is 100 times better than the first one. It's not even
Mm,
comparable. The side quests are actually meaningful, and they all have. This is one of those games where I'm like, yeah, you can just play the story, but you're missing out on not playing the side quests. Not because they're fun side quests, because they are, but they add layers to the characters that you are experiencing, like Kratos, Freya, Atreus, like all these characters. All side quests have some sort of meaning that adds to the experience, and I think that there's one specific side quest that involves around the jellyfish that you see in like the trailer.
yeah.
That was
Oh
so
man.
beautiful. There's a meaning for that like side quest. It's
Hmm.
the basic plot is that there's these like jellyfish creatures. They are trapped, and you're trying to set them free. And that's what
Hmm.
it seems like it's gonna be. Just like, oh, he's just gonna set some jellyfishes free. But then you play it, and as you're playing it, you're realizing no, there's more meaning to this. There's like the whole point of that side mission was for Kratos to spend more time with Atreus, and it adds to their dynamic and their relationship so much. And to me,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Like the side quests are fantastic, but not only the side quests, the world itself, the exploration part of each world is incredible, especially Vanaheim. I think Vanaheim. A lot of people
Yeah.
say it's confusing. Yes, some areas are confusing, but the fact that every now and then when you're in Vanaheim, you see a fucking dragon fly over you and land on you, and you have now to fight the dragon. To me, that's like, this is peak gaming. Like, how can you not love this? And the only thing I liked more in God of War 2018 was the Valkyries. There's some sort of like Valkyries in this game. They're not Valkyries, but they're like berserker characters. I
Yeah.
like I like the Valkyrie thing in the first one more than I like the berserk
Mhm.
characters.
I gotta say, their
They were
voice lines.
cool.
The one thing I liked over the Valkyrie, I agree, the Valkyries are the voice lines for the Berserkers. They actually, I noticed they got like really talented voice actors
Oh
to play
really?
them,
Do you know who
and
plays the squirrel?
they're they're yeah, it's a YouTuber. I can't remember his
Oh,
name,
okay. So okay, never
but
mind then.
he,
I
yeah,
thought it
he's
was
a
Troy
very
Baker because I read something that the
Troy.
squirrel was
No,
played by Troy Baker.
Troy Baker plays the asshole version of him, the 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 spectral who's like the jerk.
Oh, okay, okay. Mhm.
That's who he plays, yeah. But no, like the Berserkers, they're these optional side bosses that are, I'd say, some of the hardest
Some of the hardest.
bosses.
I think
Yeah,
the
and
hardest boss in the game is the last berserker. That one
okay,
was the one
cool.
that took me the
I haven't done
most
that guy yet.
time
I haven't done
to
that guy
do.
yet. I'm excited. Um, but yeah, like their voice lines. Like I remember the first time I fought one. I wasn't. I mean, it was the cool boss fight, but I was like, man, these voice lines are really. Which you wouldn't think, like, oh wow, the voice lines that they're saying as they're fighting you. But it's so cool. Like it makes you. It amps you up in the fight too, because you're like, what? No, screw you. What are you
And the
talking
dialogue
about?
that happens every time you
Yeah.
like defeat one between
Every time you
Mimir
defeat one. Yeah.
and
Mm,
Kratos, it's like,
yeah.
man, it just strengthens their relationship.
Mhm.
Again,
Mhm.
I don't feel like anything happens without a reason. Like I feel like there's a
Yeah.
reason for everything in the game. Maybe the squirrel side quest is just there.
Mhm.
That's like the one thing I can
Yeah,
think
but
of that
even that, it's
maybe.
cool because it's
But
fleshing
it's
out the
funny.
world.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's
It's
also
funny.
hilarious,
Yeah,
and
it's hilarious. That's
there's
probably the
even
funniest part about
yeah,
the game. Did
even
you
in
throw
that,
your
it's like a
axe continuously into the
yeah
chimes to see
at the
their
chime.
reaction? Stop
But
with the stupid
the cool
chimes! I'm sorry,
yeah
Master
yeah
Kratos.
no, the cool thing is that like so like one of like this person who's getting you to go get these items, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
has like different spectral aspects of themselves. So one of the and the when we collect the whatever we're collecting, the spectral aspect of anxiousness always comes to thank Kratos. And by the end of it, Kratos actually they've written in a character arc for the spectral form of anxiousness because Kratos genuinely gives the like the essence of anxiousness really good advice on how to deal with social anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's like even like a tiny little collectible side quest like that has a genuine story arc, which
And
is
there's
so
one
cool.
side quest that they
Yeah,
marked it as a side quest, but I think should have been in the game. I get why it
right.
was not a side. I get why they put it as a side quest, but
Mhm.
it should have been part of the game. The main story, I mean, it's the last one. It's I don't want to say the name of the side quest because it's a spoiler,
Mm,
but it's the
okay.
one you did like a few days ago. You even told me like, "Oh man, this side quest is really
Yeah,
heartbreaking." It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
side
It should.
quest, but it should have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
part
yeah,
of the
yeah,
story
yeah. I
because
agree.
it again,
I
it's
agree.
such an emotional mission
Mhm.
that you can shove it off as oh, it's
Mhm.
just secondary stuff, but it's
Yeah,
so meaningful.
it's like I hate. Okay, I'm
It's a
gonna
cheeky
make this
reference to
compare.
Thor: Dark World.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm gonna make this reference or to connect it. You're gonna hate me for it, but I'm gonna do it.
Bro, it's gonna
It's
be a
like
fucking
in,
Mass Effect
you know,
reference.
no, I wish. It's gonna, you know how in
The
recent
MCU.
MCU
Oh
movies,
my god.
the movie
Oh
ends,
my
there'll
god.
be credits, and then it's a credit scene that is actually just the actual ending, you know? And you're like, that's not a credit
No,
scene,
okay, I
that's
get it. No,
part of
I
the
agree
ending.
with you. Okay,
That's
no,
what,
yeah.
yeah, see, that's what this
But
is
there's
like.
this
Right?
about
Like that.
the thing about this game though. There's a lot of scenes like that. I'm not gonna get
Mm,
into like. I'll get into
mhm,
the spoilers. Even then, I don't know if I'll get it because I don't know if you have done those. But there's
mm,
some like tiny missions, tiny things you could do in the game that
mm,
lead you like to believe what could happen after.
mhm.
Like they.
When we get to the spoiler part, I'll
Okay,
tell you
I'll talk a bit
everything
about it.
I've done.
But this one, I
Yeah.
feel like it shouldn't be treated like that. It should have been
No,
part
I agree.
of the main story, and especially because there's one character, key character that I think, oh, it would make sense for them to be in the side quest, and they're not. Do you know who I'm talking about? I
Yeah.
think you know. Okay,
You know, I was
yeah,
thinking that. I was
yeah.
thinking that. Yeah.
But I also want to say another thing that I think the game does really well is enemy variety in this game is way better
Oh my
than it
God.
was in God of War 1. God of War
Yeah.
1, there was like two types of enemies you
Bro,
would fight over and over,
bro, they
and
were
they were
like,
cool. They were cool. Like, I was
yeah,
playing this game and I was like, oh man, there's no trolls to kill. I love the trolls. I love
yeah.
killing the trolls. And then I see, oh, go here, and you can find a hidden troll that you can fight off. I was like,
Mhm,
bro, what? This game is
mhm.
amazing.
Dude, the
Like,
amount of times I would go in to just a regular area and it's like, oh, it's a boss fight. Oh, that's
yeah.
so cool. Oh
That's
my
so
God.
cool.
Like,
The
yeah.
enemy variety here and the boss fights
Mhm,
here are so cool. I remember when I was playing the game, the God of Ragnarok, I was like 6 hours
mhm.
in. I had fought more bosses than I had fought in God of War
Yeah,
for like half of the story.
I know.
Um,
I know.
and I think
And
the other
I
thing
was,
that
yeah.
I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but I thought they were done so well. Thor and Odin are by far the best antagonists in
Mm,
any
mhm,
God of War game
mhm.
we've got. Baldur was
There,
cool. Odin and
yeah.
Thor are like way better. Especially Thor. I thought Thor was fantastic. I think Thor was the
Absolutely.
best character. Obviously, not counting Kratos, Freya, and Atreus, I
Mhm.
think Thor was my fourth favorite character in the game. I think he was phenomenal. You spend time with him more than you think. Like
Yeah.
when I started playing the game, I was like, oh, okay, it's just gonna be here and there.
That's what made me go like he's one of the best
Yeah,
characters.
because
Like I've seen in
because
a while.
the
Like,
they
oh my
did
God.
they
Yeah.
spent so much time with we spent so much time with Thor and Odin in the game, and through I'm gonna say it because there's a lot of videos and I don't think it's a spoiler. You spend so much time with Thor and Odin because of
Yeah.
Atreus, because you play with Atreus and Atreus goes to Asgard and you spend so much time with them that you learn how they behave, how they connect, and I love like the parallels between Odin and Thor and Kratos and Atreus.
Yeah. And
Like
you
it
see
shows
that like
their what?
yeah, because like when you first see Thor, he's really intimidating, and I'm like, oh, this is a really cool boss fight. But if that was all we saw of him, he'd be pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But then you see like, oh, they force
Oh,
you,
he's
kind
depressed. He's just like
yeah,
me.
right? Exactly.
For
Like the
real.
thing, it's kind of I think similar to what they did with The Last of Us Part Two, where they're like, oh no, we're gonna make you see why
I
this
think it's a bit
character is
different.
like this way. No, I mean
But I
obviously
totally
you don't
get it.
play
I get
as
it.
him, but it's the same idea where it's like, no, no, I get that you're angry at this character or you want to like beat this
Again,
character up.
that's why I didn't call
This is
Thor the
why.
villain. I called him the antagonist because like I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like he should be villain. If the game has one villain, it's Odin. But
Oh
even
yeah, guess.
Odin, it's like it's
No, I know. Even Odin. No,
he's
Odin.
more
I
Odin.
actually,
He's more like a villain. I think he's on more of the side of the villain, but
yeah, I still
still,
felt sorry. Yeah,
even
I
yeah,
felt sorry for
even
him at one point. Like I
he does
really,
one
I
thing that's like
genuinely,
became
yeah,
irredeemable for me. Is like that
yeah,
one
yeah,
thing he
yeah.
does near the end of the game is like, all
There,
right, now you need
no,
to go, man. I'm sorry, you're a fucking
mhm.
cunt.
Yeah,
But the rest,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
rest, he was so good. Again,
Mhm.
everything in this game. You were talking about negatives. I have two, but it's like it's not even a negative. It's like, oh yeah, it's annoying. There's two missions where I feel the game dragged, and they should have shortened two missions. And you're thinking,
Yeah,
oh, that's just two
yeah,
missions. Yeah, but each mission is like 2 hours long, so that's like 4 hours of
yeah.
game. One
I
is
think I
the
know.
Jotunheim one mission, which I like
Oh,
the mission and I like the story behind the mission.
that
I
was
just think
way
you
too
spend
long.
too
Oh my
much
god.
time just walking
How's that
around.
like? Take out the fruit picking
Oh
section.
my
Like
god, why was that in the game? Like, oh, it was so it was
Mm,
fun for the first like 5 minutes. The rest was like, okay,
yeah,
I'm done. we can move
yeah.
on. And the other one
Mhm.
was the quest for Tyr, which is one of the early missions in the game.
Oh
There's
yeah.
too many
Oh
like
my god.
people say, "Oh, I found Vanaheim confusing." No, no, no. I found the mines
Uh,
confusing. The
dude.
mines are all the same. There's a shitload of puzzles that you have to do in
The
every
thing is,
single
the
room.
puzzles aren't actually difficult. It's just the way they present them to you is the most confusing thing. Like when
Oh
I
yeah,
actually
and
did it, I was like, that's the simplest puzzle I can think of, but it's so confusing in how
I
they
think the
present
other
it
thing
to
that
you.
people kind of
Yeah.
say, "Oh, it's a negative," but I can't see as a negative because you can turn it off. It's the backseat gaming, where Twitch backseat gaming, where the AI is constantly telling you what to do.
Yeah.
You get into an area and there's a puzzle. Not
Yeah.
even 30 seconds in, they're like, "Brother, you should look up there. There's something you can use." There's one boss fight where your companion kept saying, "You have a shield, don't you? Use your shield." Or
Yeah.
they would be like, "You're
Yeah.
too far from the enemy. You have to get closer." Bro, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. I'm trying to do it. Do you want me to leave? I can leave.
Yeah, I
But even
know.
then, you can turn that off. There's a way.
Mhm,
If you couldn't turn that off, fine. Yes, it's a complaint.
mhm.
But you can. So, oh yeah, and there's a lot of accessibility stuff that makes the gameplay better. Like auto pickup saved my life. How many times I
Oh my
rolled over
god, yeah.
a green like emerald, whatever they call it, to
Yeah,
give you life,
auto
and
pickup
he
was
would just step on it.
amazing.
For me,
Yeah,
like, oh man,
yeah.
again, it's a lot of the
Mhm.
stuff. Yes, it's the same as God of War 2018, but a lot of it also improves on what we got, and to me, that's like the best kind of
Absolutely.
that's kind of improvement. And honestly, again, I've been thinking. I thought about all the God of Wars. This is my favorite one, followed by 2018, and then God of War 3, and then it comes all the other God of Wars. I played a lot. I think the only two God of Wars that kind of suck are Ascension and Ghost of Sparta, which is the PSP one, because the game is fun, but it's like
Which
3 hours
they
long.
made canon, by the
No, no,
way.
that's Ghost of Sparta. Ghost of
Oh, Ghost of
Sparta. Chains of
Sparta.
Olympus
Okay.
is the first one that happens between one and two, I think.
Okay.
Ghost of Sparta happens between two and three,
I was
which
surprised
they
they mentioned.
fucking made canon, and I was so happy because Ghost of Sparta was one of my favorite games growing up. I played
Mhm.
that so many times on my PSP, and I thought
I
it
can't
was
believe
like,
they actually went into detail for it twice.
oh yeah,
Like, I was
about his
like,
brother.
wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird because when he mentions his brother, I was like, no way they're gonna mention Ghost of Sparta. Not even I don't even know if they have played Ghost of Sparta. And then they're like, oh, my brother Damon's like, no way,
Yeah.
yo. He didn't say that he killed his own brother, right?
I think he just said like by the time I was able
No,
to
he was
interact
basically
with him.
corrupted as shit. So
Yeah.
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 They even made PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale canon, which
I
is
know. That
the
was
best one.
hilarious. That was
Fair enough,
hilarious.
brother. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Again, the game
Like,
is filled with these
mhm,
like little things that
mhm,
just enhance your experience. And
mhm.
this is probably one of the games I would put up as best games to platinum because you think, oh, I have to do all this. No, you just have to play the game and
Yeah.
basically clear the areas.
Mhm.
That's it. You don't have to like fucking
Mhm.
fighting
You know,
challenges or some shit. Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's the one thing I didn't also like in this game. I wasn't big. I like the trials in the other one more than this one, honestly.
yeah, I did too. I did too. Yeah.
That's the two
We,
things. I think that's the two things. It's the Valkyries, and that I
mhm.
liked more in the other one, and then the Berserkers and the trials. I
The
thought the
try.
trials
Yep. Mhm.
were kind of boring. I was like, I don't know if
Yeah,
this is
it
good.
was a
Again,
little. Yeah.
yeah, for like okay, so yeah, 2 hours of I play the game. I gotta actually, I can tell you, PlayStation actually messaged me congratulating about platinum the game. That never happened. That was so weird.
Wow,
But
that's
they
weird.
sent me an email saying congratulations on platinum God of War. I'm trying to see if I can find that email
Maybe
so I
because
can
you were
read
one
it.
of the first people to do it or something.
I doubt it. It took me like 2 weeks. No way I was one of the
Oh,
first.
okay. Never mind.
I can't find it. PS Nabaish, which is my PlayStation name. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, whatever. I can't find it. But yeah, it was. I was like, oh wait, I think it's here. Yeah, it's here. Congratulations on platinum. It according to PlayStation, it took me 75 hours. So if there's a 2 hour boring side quest in a 75-hour game, I think that's a win. Um, but yeah, again, incredible game. I love it. So we're gonna get into a bit of spoilers, just story wise, because Mateen wants to talk about a bit of spoilers. And if you played it, skip, stop a
Keep
bit now.
watching.
Yeah, keep put it on mute
Yeah.
for a
Yeah,
bit.
if you have not, yeah, definitely, this is not a story you want spoiled, like
Yeah,
even little things.
I got
So,
spoiled by one thing actually. I was spoiled out
yeah,
of nowhere. There was a fucking God of War spoiler in a
yeah.
Sonic Frontiers Donkey video. I was like, "Ah,
What?
why?" Yeah, someone put a spoiler. I'm like,
Actually?
okay, I
Oh
went
my
to the
God.
comments because I hated that video, so I want to see if people were like on the same page. And one
Mm,
guy decided to comment a spoil. He commented two, but when I read the first line, I immediately left, so I didn't read the second line because I knew he
mm,
wrote more, but I only read the first
yeah,
one. But yeah,
yeah,
so three, two,
yeah.
one. The one I
All right.
knew, the spoiler I knew was that Brock died. That was the one I knew.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
I was shocked when Thor died.
Really? Oh my God, I would
When
have.
Thor
Jeez.
died, I was fucking hollering like, no way.
Mhm.
Especially that it was fucking Odin who did it. To me, that's like even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why, like, obviously Odin is the bad guy, but I actually at the end when Atreus is like he's beaten, right? And Atreus is just
mhm.
like, dude, just stop.
This stuff.
Like, come on, and he's like, I can't. He's like, I need to know. He's like, I need to know what happens next.
I need the
And I
universe
could
coochie.
yeah, and I actually, when he said that, I actually related to that because I've had like his whole thing is that he has an existential crisis of essentially he doesn't want to die, not because he's afraid of dying,
But
but
because
because
he's
he
afraid
doesn't
of
want,
ending technically his
yeah,
life.
he doesn't want to not know what happens next, and
I
that's
think it's
actually that's
just I think it's just this
legit.
it scares him that when he
Yeah,
dies, he dies. That's it. Like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing else. And he
That's
wanted
the
to
thing.
know if there was
Yeah.
something else outside.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and that's the thing though, because I've had that exact like existential crisis of like I'm not so much scared of like I mean obviously I don't want to I don't want to die, but
both.
like it's like I don't want to not know what happens
Yeah.
next. And so like when he said that, I was like, damn
You wanna
man.
know something really
Like
funny?
I yeah.
Um
Yeah, well,
in the game, the mask,
yeah,
it reminded me a lot of.
yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna say. I was like,
I thought
bro,
that too.
they have to go goofy out with this shit. Please put on the mask
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Please. I
and
look like you're
become
gonna put
Jim
it on
Carrey for like
again. Yeah,
5 seconds for me,
yeah,
real quick. Please,
yeah.
on God. That was
Totally.
when
I
I
thought
saw the
that was gonna
full. I was
happen.
like, when I saw the half the mask, I was like, okay, it kind of looks like the mask from Jim Carrey,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna make assumptions. And then when he
yeah.
put it completely on, I was like, no, that shit is the mask from Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh my God,
But
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
again, he was so well done. He was so well
Mm-hmm.
developed. He was so well done
Mm-hmm.
through thread
There-
through.
Okay.
She and
I
her mom to
loved.
me were really well. And this is where we kind of
Yeah.
disagree. I feel like they
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
in the game enough. I didn't need more. I didn't need less. Maybe
Yeah.
Sif, but like through, I feel
If
like she was
yeah.
enough in the game.
Throod's relationship with Atreus or Loki or whatever, that was done perfectly.
Atreus.
It
Don't
was
call him Loki.
Through the relationship with Sif that I thought was rushed so
Okay,
much.
okay,
Like
I can see
I
that.
get I get I
But
get that
I
there's
think that's more on Sif's side than Truth's side,
yeah, no,
because
absolutely.
most of Sif is
Yeah.
like, this is
She,
bullshit. Odin is ruining our lives. You are
yeah,
drunk and depressed. Take a look at yourself.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
And the,
I
but
do
like
agree that she should have been.
like the thing is that like I know you can like so you can like listen in on like through and Sif's conversation, which is cool.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not a lot
but
though.
even
It's
even
minimal.
with that, like I'm sorry, the last time you see Sif, she's convincing Thor to kill Atreus, and then the
She wasn't
next
convincing
time
Thor
you
to kill
yeah,
Atreus.
yeah, no,
She was kind of
she was like
convincing
this
Thor to
guy.
drop the whole shit, like to
No, but
drop.
no, but then Thor tries to kill Atreus,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
right after
What's
that,
she's gonna
and
fucking
then
do? Like
and
she's
then she's his wife. She could be like, okay, I didn't mean that. Jesus
okay.
Christ!
I guess. I
Like
guess.
the
I
thing
guess.
is, then the next time you see her, she just pops out of like, hello. By the way, actually, Thrud, attack Asgard because yeah, he's right, and I have no issues with him now. All of a sudden, it's like what? Where
I
did
think
that?
I
That's like a
I think it's because
huge
again
thing.
I got a feeling that she was just like trying to make Thor see that Odin was wrong. This shit.
No, I think
It's
she was
pretty funny
upset
though
that
that
Kratos
Kratos
killed her
got through
sons.
him. It's pretty funny that
Like,
Kratos got through him faster than his own fucking wife. But
yeah,
but
yeah, I know.
I guess it's because he sees
Uh,
himself so
yeah,
much in
I
Kratos.
could, I can
Again,
see
I
that
love
but
that fucking
sometimes,
parallel. Oh my god, I adore
yeah,
it.
that parallel is fantastic. I think because the reason Kratos was able to get through to him is oftentimes, uh, I don't know if you have this like with the people who are closest to you, if they have complaints about you, you're like, yeah, okay, fine. But then you hear like a
Someone who,
stranger say the
yeah, I
exact
get
same
it.
thing,
Yeah,
you're like, oh, fuck, okay, I guess they are right. Um,
every time, man.
but yeah, but
It's just now I'm thinking like every scene with Kratos and Thor was peak of the game. Like the
yeah,
first
totally.
fight you fight them. By the way, one of the best fucking openings of a game of all time.
Yeah. Oh my
Incredible. In
God.
2 hours, you fight like three different
Yeah.
bosses, and the three different bosses, you're like, oh shit. First is the bear, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna kill this fucking bear, Atreus.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
by the way, the fucking scene where Atreus becomes a bear and Kratos and both are like killing the Valkyries, and they have
Yeah, that
like
was
this
so
fucking
cool.
shot of them together. Oh my
Yeah.
god! But
Yeah.
I love
Mm,
this the fight scene between Thor, the first one, and Thor Kratos is like, um,
mhm.
I don't remember the name of the kids, but the Thor kids, the ones that died in the first game.
Magni and Modi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, they died because of you. You sent them. The
Yeah.
fuck you say?"
No,
And then
yeah.
like, "Oh, we
I
have a role
love.
model here, or father,
Yeah,
or
we got a model father
here. You
here.
got a
Like,
model father here, bro."
I
Every
know. It was
line of
really
dialogue between the
funny.
two of them, even
Um,
between like Thor and Atreus, Thor was
mhm,
incredible in the game. Again, I think
mhm.
he was definitely my third favorite
Yeah,
character, fourth favorite
yeah.
character.
I love that they decided to make the gods speak. I don't want to say normally, but like not in their like, oh, hitherto I am the god. Like they
I
just
guess it's
talk
because
like
again, I get
human.
the whole point of
Mhm.
the God of War games, and this goes for the
Yeah,
others, is that the gods are just humans that
yeah,
think they're better than everyone else.
yeah, yeah.
So I get they wanted to humanize them so they
That's so,
could
but that's so cool
feel as
because
strong.
like,
Because when you think about it, a god is like this immoral creature. If they don't
mhm,
humanize them, you're gonna feel like, how the
mhm,
fuck am I gonna kill this
mhm,
guy? He's a
yeah.
fucking
And
god.
then like, well, that worked because Odin's essentially like this mafia boss who's
Did
like,
you feel
hey,
like
what?
Odin was a bit like nerfed in the last fight? Bro just had a
Yeah,
whip.
no, no, I know that's the thing. Like the last fight with Odin. And this is me being very gentle on the game. I'm like, okay, well, clearly he's a talker, not a fighter. But
He
like,
likes to talk. He has a
yeah,
podcast.
yeah, he would totally have a podcast. But
Welcome
no,
to
like,
Odin's eyes.
Odin's
Open
eyes.
your eyes. Yeah.
No, totally. But no, yeah, the that's the thing. Like the fight with Odin, I didn't use a single like I didn't even use a resurrection stone.
I
I
don't think I
was
even had a
so
resurrect stone when I
yeah.
fought him.
Sorry, one second. My cat is begging to
Ah,
get let
okay.
out. Live, folks. We're live. But yeah,
Sylvester,
and
you little
then
smuck.
I know he's. Oh, but okay. Can we talk about Heimdall? Because
Oh, I love Heimdall.
that
Heimdall was
that
so
the
well
character
used.
was fantastic. I
Fantastic.
hated him.
I
I
wanted that
wanted,
man dead. I fucking hated him.
and
But
then
I think that was the
I'm
most
sorry.
gruesome fight of the
That
game.
was definitely. But the boss fight, I'm like,
Yeah. No, the boss fight
once
itself was
again,
good. It was just easy. While I feel like Odin
yeah,
was like
yeah,
just like you could have made a bigger spectacle, I guess, with Odin.
yeah,
Because
yeah. I
this is
think
the
so.
All Father. This is the guy
Mhm.
that basically
Yeah,
defeated all the other
mhm,
realms and shit like that. And then you have him with a whip. You're like,
yeah.
me,
No,
bro, he's not
Heimdall.
Indiana Jones. Calm down.
Like I thought what they should have done with Heimdall is just make his instead of like making it slow down and then you can very easily dodge,
hmm
you should have made it that he's just so unbelievably fast or something.
hmm
And then it like because obviously there you go through the first bit where you can't hit him, but you're building up the stun meter, right?
hmm
So it still feels
I
like you're
really
making
like that.
progress.
I really like that. That was
And
like one of
then
the best like
yeah,
aspects of the fight. Definitely, it was
yeah.
so different from the other fights.
But then, like, when you do hit him for the first time, I didn't feel like that was like a big moment. It was just like oh, like, because he doesn't even seem that put off by it. He's just
hmm
like, huh, you actually hit me. Instead of like, if I was him, I'd be like, that is literally the one thing
What
I
was, in
have
your opinion,
over this
like the
guy.
best fight in the game
The
thus far?
best fight scene,
I
you
think
know,
it was
I
the
don't.
serpent for me.
Oh no, it was the
Not the
it was.
serpent. Is it the dragon? The portal dragon. You know what I'm talking?
Oh
In
yeah, that was a
Vanaheim
very good boss
with.
fight. Yeah. I
I
think
love
it
that
was
one. Not counting
the
Thor. I think Thor was the best one. I think
yeah,
Thor
I
was
think
the
it was
best.
for me it was the giant. It was the giant fight with the cauldron in Iron.
Really?
Yeah, I
Wow. I
really
That
liked
was
that.
so easy.
Yeah, it was easy, but it was the worst level. But
It
it
ended on a
was
good note.
so yeah, the boss fight, I was like, wow, this is really creative.
No, it is. It is.
There feels like emotion behind it because it's her grandma, right? And
Yeah.
she's saying all these hurtful things. So you feel that, you feel bad about fighting her.
Yeah.
And then and like I was no, that was what made me go, I'm like, okay, at least this had a really good boss fight. Um, I hate to say maybe it is the Thor fight at the start of the game
No, I
because I
think
don't
it's
like
Thor. To me, it's Thor.
yeah,
It's both.
and
I
it's
count
not
both as one, I guess.
yeah. It's not that the other boss fights are bad. It's
No,
just
it's
like
just
that
because
one is so good.
it adds
Like,
so much
oh
weight
my
to it.
God.
Like it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I did really
Yeah.
like Heimdall. Did we
Mm.
fight any other gods? I think that's it. Thor, Heimdall, and Odin.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think that's it.
remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember
No,
fighting other ones.
no.
We
I,
kind of. Oh, we did the Valkyries, but I thought the Valkyries was good, but definitely
I
just
have not I have not fought the new Valkyrie Queen
no,
yet
no,
as
yeah, no, no, no,
we
no, yeah, no, no. It's she's a more tamed version of the other queen.
mentioned. All
The
right.
other queen is still the hardest of any God of War
Yeah.
bosses. The
By the
other
way,
Valkyrie
when
queen
you
can fuck the fuck off. I spent like
yeah.
5 hours trapped on that
Oh
bitch.
my God. No, you
Fuck
know, because
off.
I was on call sometimes when I was trying to beat her. It took me days
She's so hard.
days to beat the first
Every
main
fucking
fucking
time
thing.
she did the sky thing and she fell on
Oh
you, it took like half
God.
of your fucking life with that shit. Oh my god. And
Yeah.
Atreya's squeaky ass voice. Father, shut up! Shut the fuck up! I know I'm dying.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what actually was surprisingly early game was
Mhm.
surprisingly difficult? It was the those Draugr that come out from those little like
Like
holes in the ground.
the
What I forget
pits,
what
the
they're called.
lava pits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
they
like
were.
when I
Yeah.
first like had like almost no abilities and whatnot, I was like, this is actually pretty
Oh, I
difficult.
love the crocodile boss. I'm gonna call it
Yeah,
crocodile.
the
Those were
electric
so
guys.
fun. And
Yeah.
again, the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
game is fun.
yeah.
Um, but one mission that a lot of people don't talk about that I love, I think it's one of the
Mhm.
best missions in the game, is the mission where I'm gonna say mission because they count it as a mission.
Mm.
Is when Kratos is about to go into Ragnarok and he goes to sleep and like Atreus comes and is like, "Oh, can I sleep with you?" And he tells him the story and shit. And then he has like a
Yeah.
dream with Frey with Faye.
Faye, yeah, yeah,
Faye.
Faye, yeah,
That was such a beautiful
yeah,
love.
yeah.
It was like
Oh my
10,
god,
15 minutes long, but it was
yeah.
so beautiful. Every single line out of those people's mouth could have
Hmm.
been put in a book or
No, when
quoted.
she,
Everything to
yeah,
love
I
fully
know,
is no, to
no,
love
to grieve
deeply.
deeply is to have loved completely.
No,
Like
no, no.
it,
It's to love
no,
deeply
no,
is to no, to love
no,
fully is
it's
to
to
grieve.
grieve.
Something like that.
It's
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna
basically
fact
they're
check.
like if you have a lot of grief after someone you love dies, that means you have loved them like so completely. So like like it's such a powerful message because the whole game you see people deal with grief.
Yeah.
Like you see
Hmm.
Sindri deal with his grief. You see Atreus deal with his grief. You see Angrboda deal with the grief of like her parents and her people. You see her grandmother deal with grief. You see like everyone. Odin deal with like his own grief of not wanting to like Sif,
Yeah.
Thrud,
Uh,
Thor,
I just checked.
and
To grieve deeply is to have is to love fully. And she also
yeah,
said one that was the combination of love is grief, and
his
yet
grief.
we love
Yeah,
despite the inevitable. We open our
yeah,
hearts to it. Every single
yeah.
line from their mouths
And I
was
love
like
what she
beautiful.
says
Oh,
right
even
after.
when there's a scene where Mimir asks like Kratos, "Aren't you afraid of dying?" And he's like, "No,
Like
death can
death.
have me
Yeah,
when it earns me." Like every
yeah,
single line out of these people's mouth could be put in like a
yeah.
fucking museum because it's so
Yeah.
good.
What I loved after she says the culmination of love is grief or whatever, and she's after that, she looks at Kratos and she says, I promise if you look for it, you will find things to make life worth living for
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
And that's so what he needs to hear because he's just like, what is my life? It's just vengeance after vengeance after vengeance. There's nothing else I have. But she's like, and it really because it's true, like especially just I'm gonna be like cringe and be like, with what the world has gone through lately. But like it's true. It's hard to find things right now that are like it's like, oh, that's really good. But it's also true that if you look for it, you find things that it's like, oh,
yeah. And the
that's why I
whole
want to win.
meaning. I think
Ah,
like the other
mm,
part of the game that really touched me
mhm.
was the whole meaning of the game where nothing is written. You can do whatever you
Yeah,
want. Even if you
yeah,
think it's going to end this way, so
hmm,
be it. It doesn't mean it's actually going to end like that.
yeah,
You can change your future. And the whole, at
yeah,
the end of the game, when like they see that Faye destroyed every like the murals,
yeah.
so they wouldn't see their fates. So
Hmm.
Kratos and Atreus would form their own fates, and then Kratos sees like a mural that she did where
Yeah.
he's loved as a god and not hated.
Hmm.
That, oh
I
my
heard, yeah,
god!
yeah.
Like, can you
I heard,
fucking stop right now? Like, I'm
yeah.
already crying, my guy.
The director of the game said that so when you see Kratos look at the mural and he realizes that he can be that person that he's wanted to be for so long, apparently the director said that was something that Christopher Judge, who plays
Hmm.
Kratos, amazing, told him he's like, I literally can only do that like two times because he's like, I'm gonna put so much emotion into it that like emotionally it will wreck me.
Yeah,
So
I'm not even gonna talk
he's like,
about
you
their
can, yeah,
performances because
yeah,
Christopher Judge a fucking
yeah,
game. It's so
and
funny
it,
that people like,
yeah,
oh, we should play Kratos. He said,
yeah, bro,
I'm down to
him,
play Kratos if
yeah,
you want. I'm okay with it.
yeah,
Like it's not like
totally,
Kratos is like 30 years old. In these
yeah,
games, he's like
yeah,
40. Maybe get a younger guy for the Greek part.
yeah,
For
absolutely,
the Norse part,
mhm,
you can definitely get Judge.
yeah.
Did you ever see
Oh,
the video where he was recording the first game, and the first
yeah,
game,
yeah,
Athena says like, "You're a monster. You're always gonna be a
always will
monster,"
be.
and he
And he
says
says,
like,
I know,
"No, no, I know, but I'm no
mhm,
longer your monster."
yeah,
Bro
and
was crying,
he's
like the
actually
actor was
crying
crying
in the
because he
yeah.
said like, "Oh, the
Not because the scene needed him to cry, because he was putting so much emotion into it that
emotion
he
in yeah." No,
caused himself
because
to
he says
cry.
like, they asked him
Yeah.
like, what does he like take as inspiration for this game for the games? Like, oh, just me
Mhm.
as a father, my
Yes, me as a
failures, my
person. Yeah.
achievements. This is for my
Mhm.
kids. as a
Hmm.
father. Like I was like,
Hmm.
okay, makes sense.
And then
Did you notice
apparently,
something in the mural, by the way? And when the mural where he's being like praise the god, Thor is there. So I think Faye thought Kratos would change Thor, and Thor would just
really,
survive. I
although
guess.
because if yeah, also through she gets their dad's hammer at the end.
Yeah,
As
that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so
yeah,
you have
maybe
encountered her
I
finding the hammer
yeah
and grabbing it and going.
yeah going
Yeah, that I was
yeah
gonna say. Did you find the
everything
real tier already?
everything yeah. So oh,
Okay.
that's something I got. So because I finished the game, I was watching clips of the game because I wasn't. I'm like I don't need to worry about
So you
spoilers.
found the
And
clip
then
of they're fighting real
immediately they're
tier.
like real tear. I'm like oh
By the
okay,
way,
but
did you see
I'm glad I
the
saw it
director
because
said if you go
was
back to tier, he's
yeah
doing
there's
like
Ray.
these weird gestures with his hands,
Oh really
and he said, and the director said, maybe you should pay attention to what he's doing. And
really
they're like,
the
and
real
people were
the
like,
real tear.
are you saying something? He's like, no, because if I say it, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I think it's like teasing. I guess it's just like, oh, this could mean something for God of War 3, which
Crazy.
I don't think. This was something I was gonna say. I don't think we should have God of War 3. I don't want it. I think these two
Maybe
were
maybe
perfect.
the thing is, I don't want it to be in the oh now he's gonna go beat up Egyptian gods
Yeah,
or something.
I
That's
don't
not.
want that. I
I
don't
don't
want
want
that.
him to do that.
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't want
want
him to
it.
do that either. I'd love to see Atreus as the lead
Yes,
in it.
that's the only
Yeah.
like outcome that I would enjoy was like, oh, let's go to Atreus now and like see what
The
he's up
weird thing
to.
is
I
that
mean,
I'm
you
like
could
I
do
feel
like a
like we can
Miles
do
Morales
that.
type
That's what
game.
I was thinking, but then they're like, "Oh, we're not doing a DLC." I'm like, "Really?"
This is the
Because that,
perfect.
yeah, I'm like, "What do you?"
That was
Okay,
even though I
fine.
really liked playing with Atreus, I feel like nothing that I did with Atreus, like upgrade wise, was meaningful because I think that the game was like, oh, you can like upgrade Atreus, but just know he's just in some parts of the game. The
Yeah,
main guy is still Kratos.
yeah,
And I
and
felt
then I
like
yeah.
whatever you
Hmm.
would upgrade, you would basically you would feel a bit stronger, but not much to make a difference. So I would love to have a full build for Atreus where I could fully customize Atreus and play. Oh, there's something I forgot to say. I forgot to talk about the shields because I love the way they use shields in the game. But whatever. Love that the shields basically give you a style for you to
Yeah,
play. That's what I meant to say. There's shields for
yeah,
every style of gameplay.
yeah.
Um, but
No, but
yeah,
if you're in terms of like spoilers, I really, I, I do want to talk about this. I
Brock,
really think, I mean, yeah, well, we can talk about Brock,
we forgot about Brock.
but I
We can
really,
talk about
this
Ragnarok.
is this might be, this might be a hot take. Um, I saw in a bunch of interviews that like this always comes up. The director's saying like, yeah, we talked
By
about
the
whether we
way,
wanted
the director is a
to.
bit boring. Okay, sorry.
He's a bit boring, yeah. Nice, seems like a nice guy, but
It
he's
seems like a
very, very,
fantastic
very
guy. He's
boring.
just not a
Very
speaker per
boring.
se.
Very boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we're
Um.
boring as well. So you know.
Yeah. I I think this should have been 3 games. I really think this should have been 3 games.
Oh,
I think
yeah. This is
it's
where we disagree.
beyond,
I
yeah,
don't think so.
I think it's beyond impressive what they managed to do in 1 game and cover so much and do such a good job of it. But
I definitely
almost
agree that
all,
some
I think
losses
pretty
could
much,
have been,
yeah.
some parts of story could
Like,
have been tightened, especially like
mhm,
Sif, like you said, or
mhm.
even through.
But the thing
But
is that like
barely anything left me
so
thinking, oh, we should have got
think
more
of
of
how
that.
many times this happens in the game where a character says, "I'm gonna go do this thing," and then they go off screen and do it, and then they come back a few hours later and like, "I did it. Don't worry
They
about
did that
it."
in Ragnarok for the
I'm
actual
like,
Ragnarok part.
so yeah, like, dude, like when they're
Again, don't
like
forget,
Mimir.
most of the realms were already on board. So the
No,
only
no, but
realm that was
the
left
thing,
was Niflheim, I think.
no,
No,
but no,
not
no, not just
Niflheim,
that. Like
Helheim.
they do such a fantastic. Like let's use Alfheim for example. They do such a
Is
fantastic
Helheim the
job
one with the flying like
with the elves. Yeah, the dark
ugh,
elves and the light.
I hate those enemies. Yeah.
The they do such a fantastic job of showing the rift between these two people is so you cannot just show up and fix it. Even Freyr, when he was there, had a tough time, and it was literally just because they thought he was this all-knowing person. And then he's
Again,
like,
don't
"Yeah, you know,
forget though,
I'm
like
just gonna run back and tell
Vanaheim,
them
like
to."
I'm gonna
No,
call him Justice League. The Vanaheim Justice League
yeah,
had some
yeah,
elves, so I assume
yeah.
those elves convinced the other elves, like,
No,
bro,
no,
we
but the
gotta
thing
fight.
is, those
I don't
two
know. I feel
elves,
like
no,
all
those
most of the
two
realms
elves
were
made it
already on
very
board. There
clear.
was like
No, but
Alheim.
those no, but those two elves made it very clear that they're outcasts. So like
Yeah,
clearly they,
but they'd
yeah.
be like,
And
bro.
I don't think, but the
I
thing is, I
mean,
don't
I
think
guess
that
they
it
use
was.
the point where it's like, bro, you're either with us or you're gonna get
No, but
fucked.
like no, but that's like the thing is that like, and not just that, like I totally bought that they all hated uh Asgard. I don't know why I
Odin and
blanked.
Asgard, yeah.
Yeah, I totally bought that they all hate that. But it's one thing to be like, yeah, I hate that. It's another thing to be like, okay, but we all have to work together. And I
It
felt like
was
they
again. It
rushed
wasn't us
over that
together. It was
aspect.
like, bro,
Yeah,
all we need you to do is fight.
the-
You
but
fight.
like,
They didn't use any of them for the plan. The only people
I
that
know,
were
I would
needed
have
was
rather,
Freya,
yeah, I would
Atreus,
have
Kratos,
honestly,
and maybe Sindri. The rest
I would have,
were not needed.
I
They
would have
even get
preferred
the
this
game
though.
was like, bro, we're gonna
No, I
die
get it.
because we didn't bring enough people for the plan. And then at the end,
No,
the goofy girl appears with the goofy wolf, and they're like,
yeah,
oh, portals,
I know.
and
That's
save
that's
them.
you didn't think that part was rushed? Where like I'm going in like, oh, guess what? Actually,
It
portals.
was a
Like
bit
what?
of a Deus
What?
Ex Machina
Like,
moment, but
huh?
again, it doesn't bother me. It's just like,
like,
yeah,
like
I'm okay with it.
I don't like the thing is I would have actually preferred, and I don't think I would have had as much of a complaint if they had just been like, you know what, this has happened too fast. We can't bring armies. We need to just use
I feel
us.
like
That would have
if they
been,
had
I think, way
made two
cooler.
games, it would be two shorter games, and people would complain.
I no, but like the thing is that I think you could
If
have
you
like
do
you
the
know
third
how
one, so you told me, I remember you told me when you were telling like your complaints, you told me that, oh, they should have done like the preparation for Ragnarok in one, and then the other
Mhm.
one, the
No, not
actual
have Ragnarok
Ragnarok.
happen,
But
but
like
like
that
no,
would
no, no, because
be stretching both sides. Imagine a
no, I
full game of Ragnarok. It's like,
no, but
oh,
think of it this
we
way.
have to fight Odin, but let's do this side stuff before we
No,
go
no, no, no,
there.
no, no. I don't think it would have been like side stuff. I think it would have been like the ending. I would have ended. Again, I'm speaking like I'm like
A
they
game
hadn't had like
developer.
yeah, or that they hadn't had like tons of hours of discussion of what they should do and what
Bro
would be
thinks
the
he's
best.
better than the writers.
Yeah, like let's just
Listen,
grant me this
listen
for a
to me.
second.
I've played Mass Effect.
I played Mass Effect, man. Grant me this
I
for
have
a
a
second.
platinum on
Like
Avengers. Listen to me. Listen
I
to
would
me.
have, I would have ended the second game after Brock dies. Have
But that's just the
Heimdall
preparation for
be
Ragnarok.
have Heimdall be the
Final
final
boss.
boss. Yeah, and put like
So you'd
him
have to
more than
kill
just
Brock in
in
the Heimdall fight. It would have had to
something
been
like that.
Heimdall
Something
killing
like that.
Brock.
Have like Brock die before that, and then the thing is there's a line that made me go that's making me think like no, I really feel like they could have done two games. Was when Kratos says Atreus like, why are you so upset, Dad? And he's like, I really did not want to see me have to take my son to war. War. I don't think that there was any war in this game. There was one
There
battle
was a
that
bro. They were
where
bro.
the
Asgard was completely
no, there was yeah,
destroyed.
no, but there was one battle where, like you said, the armies are made obsolete immediately. It's like, okay, we can't use the
Bro, you
armies.
even see the serpent fighting Thor in
Okay, come on, the serpent. You gotta admit that was like it was like an afterthought. Like you saw it
no,
as like a, and it's like,
no.
oh,
I
okay,
thought that was
fine.
actually really cool because the whole the when we see the serpent, she's actually we see the serpent going back in time when she
No,
was
I
fighting
know you
Thor.
see. No,
That's the
literally, if
explanation
you
of
had,
how like the serpent that we see in God of War
yeah,
2018 is technically the serpent that we saw
yeah,
in the fight. To me,
no,
that was pretty
totally.
cool. I don't know.
No,
Again, to
it's
me, it's like
cool.
such
I just again,
small, minor
it
things
would
that
have been, I would have liked to have that be a bigger moment than a, oh, that happened. Okay, let's go. Like,
I don't know. I
I don't
think they
know.
did a good job setting
And
everything up.
here's where I'll agree with you a little bit. I feel like maybe a not maybe a bunch of it is me wanting a different kind of game than what they made. Because you made a really good point when we were talking earlier, we were messaging, where you said you would have lost a lot of that urgency.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the game is like, oh my God, this thing is rushing towards us, Ragnarok,
yeah.
and we don't have enough time to
Yeah,
stop
the
this
whole
thing.
point is like
So
Ragnarok is coming, and
yeah, like
Ragnarok is
I
coming for
would,
Kratos is
yeah.
like, oh, my son might get hurt, while
Mm-hmm.
for Atreus like my dad is gonna die. So
Yeah.
like there's this
So
sense of
so I
urgency to
and I get
stop
that. You
everything that's
would
happening.
absolutely you would lose a lot of that urgency.
Yeah,
But for
and
me,
again,
I would have
I think
I
especially the third game would
personally
drag. The
yeah,
third game would drag.
but I think the third game could have been like, okay, with the second game we've established really well, because they did this really well in this game, how Odin and Asgard have
Also, it
ruined
would make
the
people
realm.
mad
Like
if you fought Thor once and didn't fight him again until the third game.
I think you could throw in another Thor fight or something in there. I
No, no, I
just
think you
I
need to have the Thor fight, the first one
I
especially.
no, I'm
But
saying
people will
you
be
could
like,
throw
"Oh,
in
so I fight him once, and it's super
no,
easy." Don't
but
forget, the first
I
fight is
think
super easy. Like it's very doable because you
I
barely have
feel
any
like you could
upgrades.
no, but it's like I feel like you could just again, not speaking as someone who knows anything with how to make video
Listen,
games, so
he
just keep that in
plays
mind when
Marvel
I'm saying
Avengers.
this. Keep this in mind when I'm
You
saying this.
know
I'm like,
what's my rank in
I feel like
Overwatch?
you could Silver 4, baby. I feel like you could just throw in another Thor fight there and
Hmm.
still do it within the story and stuff like that. Again, these are just broad strokes that I'm
I
saying.
think they did
I feel
that.
I would have liked to have seen okay, in the second game, we do a great job of establishing how everyone hates Asgard. And this is why. It's not just Asgard bad. It's like this is specifically
I was gonna
how
say
Asgard has ruined.
the
But in
reason
the third,
why I think God of War 2 is not like loved as much as the other games.
yeah,
I love God of War 2. And I remember this because people said the reason why is because the end of God of War 2 just feels like a setup for God of War 3. Because
yeah, but
in the second one you
that's
fight Zeus, but he ends nowhere because you don't kill him off because you need him for
yeah,
God of War 3. And I
yeah.
remember people were like, ah, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth that I'm so close to killing Zeus, and now I have to wait an extra game to kill him off.
But the
Um,
thing is, also God of War 2 has, in my opinion, again, I just watched the cutscenes, but it has one of the coolest endings
no, it
in
has, it
any
has.
game. Where
I
you're
think God
like,
of War 1 and 3, and I think like the one thing that you cannot take away from God of War 3 or the other two God of Wars, the Greek ones, is I feel like the boss fights in those games are way more memorable than in these games. Like
I know we've been complimenting the boss fights,
it's
but
because those games for me were literally created revolving around boss fights. I
yeah,
think that
totally.
was their main goal. How can we
That was
top off the previous boss fight?
mhm.
Like God of War 3
Literally
opens with you
the
fucking
opening.
fighting Poseidon
Yeah,
in one of the best boss fights I've ever played in my
yeah,
life. And
yeah.
the
No,
whole game was just trying to up that until you
mhm,
got to the big guy, which was Zeus.
mhm.
Um, and I feel like in this game they're like, no, we're gonna prioritize story,
Right,
and
yeah, which is fine.
I'm
I
which is
fine with that.
completely fine. That's why I loved God of War 2018 so much because it was so different. It was such
Mhm.
a switch in style and in
Yeah,
gameplay and storytelling. I
yeah. So
loved
the
it.
thing is, what I like, we established that they hate them. Now everyone hates them. How do we get them all to work together?
I don't know.
And
I think that would
and to
drag.
me,
I
that's such
would
a
lose a bit of
fascinating.
interest. I'm gonna
To
fully
me,
be
that's
honest.
so fascinating. And yes,
Unless
I'm
you
not.
have good side characters to complement that.
Yo, gee, if only we had an amazing cast of side characters.
No,
Oh
no,
wait,
no.
we
You have, but they're not technically like the leaders of each realm,
no, but
per
they
se.
are like so like Freyr. They set him
So
up
yeah,
to be
you
like
have Freya,
okay
which is
for
Vanaheim,
Alfheim.
you
You
I
have
assume you're not
Freya,
complaining. I
which
assume you're not
is
complaining of
Anaheim.
Vanaheim because
Yeah,
Vanaheim,
and then you have
well, if
but
any realm,
and then you have Angrboda, which could be the giants, and you could do with the marbles.
that's
Then
it's only
you
her.
have
There's no
with
others.
with the marbles as well, and like you could actually have Loki interact with Jormungandr a bit instead of just Like yeah, like
I don't know.
you could. Yeah, I would love to explore Sindri's grief a bit more. Like
No, I think they left that open for
there's
the again.
there's there's
It's again that's
I
like
think
there's
there
loose
is a
ends in
third
the game
game
that I feel like
again
if
though.
we don't get a sequel, they'll kind of leave a bad taste in your mouth, especially Sindri. But
Yeah.
I assume they're gonna do one. So
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what though.
get,
I
I
don't know what.
acknowledge that it's a different. If you do that, it's a very different kind of
I
game,
just hope.
and
I just
I
hope.
personally would have taken the
I
trade
just
off.
hope
But
we
we'll
don't. I
see.
just hope we don't go to the Egyptian, like you said. You know what I
Yeah, I
would
don't.
like? Maybe it's stupid, but I think if well written. Again, I'm not a writer. Uh,
Mm,
I only have the platinum of Marvel Avengers, but it doesn't make me a writer. Um, I think would be cool to like in the next one some character coming from the Greek world into the Norse one looking for Kratos for some reason. I don't know how you can
that
do
would be
that,
cool.
but
Yeah.
I would like that. I would like to see
Mhm,
some guy come back from some whatever.
mhm.
Maybe Athena. She's still alive. She's still
Yeah,
alive in the
she is.
Greek world. She could come for him, like,
Mhm,
but I guess there's no much reason for it. But
yeah. And
I just
yeah,
don't want to
anything.
go into. I don't want him to go into
I
the
know. I don't want him
Egyptian
to like.
Norse
Man has
gods,
been through enough.
the
Like,
Norse
let's
gods, the
just.
Egyptian Norse gods, the
Yeah.
Egyptian gods. Yeah, it's
Mhm,
enough. It's enough.
mhm,
I think the
yeah.
next game should be about rebuilding
Mhm,
the all the realms and maybe
yeah.
having some fucking god or creature out there
It
trying
would
to.
be interesting because they do say like when they're going to Alfheim
Mhm,
after the game ends, and Freya's like, "Well, I'll be happy that the elves aren't going to be attacking us." And
yeah,
like that's the thing. We kind of like Kratos is like, "Look, it's one thing to like give them one day where they have to fight together, or they will literally die.
yeah,
But then afterwards, it doesn't just go away. Like this is centuries, millennia of fighting with each other. You gotta really work at that. So that could be cool if they do make a third game, and it's about him trying to be a god of peace,
yeah.
with really cool fighting and boss fights in between. But like, no,
With him
I think
ripping
that
heads open.
yes, exactly god of peace.
But okay,
So no, I would love that.
we've been talking
Mhm.
about God of War for an hour
Yeah,
and 8 minutes.
hell
We
yeah.
could be talking for an extra hour and 8 minutes,
We could be, we
but
could
you
be.
could basically
Hmm.
just watch the entire game on YouTube,
Hmm.
like John Campia does. Um, so we're gonna move on. So spoilers are done. Game is done. I assume it's a 5 out of 5 from both us.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
Hmm.
we're gonna we hope. I
Yeah,
at least I hope it wins Game of the Year.
yeah.
But
I would be fine with either Elden Ring or this game.
yeah.
It's
So
as long as it's not
speaking of Game
straight.
of the
Oh
Year,
my god. Yeah,
speaking of Game of
let's
the Year, let's do it. I'm
a
gonna
game that's
look up the
just as
list.
good.
I'm gonna look up the list. What's the
Uh,
name? Game Awards. I'm gonna look up the
game with
full list. I'm gonna skip the nominees that nobody cares about. Okay,
yeah,
sorry, that was mean. I'm gonna skip the
the
nominees that
categories.
I don't
Yeah,
care about,
yeah.
which is
No,
esports bullshits and all
yeah,
those jazz.
yeah.
But
No, I gotta say, like, I'm sorry. Can we just like why is Stray nominated for Game of the Year?
I
Like
think
that's
it's
just
nominated
to
because
me
of the public. I still have to
because
vote. I haven't
cat.
voted. I gotta vote. I
I
forgot.
have a
I have an
cat.
idea
I
of
have a
putting
cat.
the
It's
screen and
not.
showing the nominees,
Oh,
but this
yeah,
PC can't handle that, unfortunately.
yeah,
Maybe in the next one. Um,
yeah.
but I think it's. I want to talk about every single nomination. Okay,
Hmm.
because I've played 4 of the 6 nominees. The only
Hmm.
ones I didn't play was Xenoblades. I'm never gonna fucking play, and Elden Ring. And I do intend on playing Elden Ring. I just didn't get to it. Plague
How I
Tale
do it.
Requiem is the one I'm playing currently.
Hmm.
I played the first one a few month ago, and I bought the second one on Black Friday so I could play because I did really like the first one. Um, let's talk. Gonna start from the ending. Best sports can fuck off. Best esports can fuck off. Okay, most anticipated game. So they have nominated. I think this is weird. Spider Man is not here. Spider Man Two.
Really? Well, 'cause
I
technically, it doesn't
assume,
Spider.
didn't they say it was definitely 2023? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
but
they said.
you know how when they like,
No,
yeah,
but they
in
said
this
that for Wolverine.
year,
I don't believe Wolverine. I believe Spider Man 3.
yeah,
I don't think people. I still think people think Spider Man 2 sorry, I think I said Spider-Man 3, whatever. Spider-Man, technically Spider-Man 3. I think people expect Spider-Man 2 to be like this leap in quality. I think they're just gonna combine the best out of Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales,
Yeah, I think so
and
too.
and I
Yeah.
think you're gonna play like half of the game with one, half of the game the other. I'm probably
Mhm.
gonna like the Miles segment more, just gameplay wise, because I thought
Yeah,
Miles plays way better than
way
Peter.
better. Yeah,
It's not even fair, but
yeah.
it's the exaggerated swagger. Um,
Hmm.
but they have here for nominees of most anticipated: Final Fantasy, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I think this is one is going for fucking Zelda. There's no way. That's my most anticipated game of
I
next
don't know,
year.
man. The Potter fandom,
True,
they
true.
might,
The Potter
they
fandom could
might,
clutch,
yeah,
but I think
but
don't forget Breath of the Wild. A lot of people consider it the best game of all time.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of hard to compete against that.
Yeah,
So that's, I think it's gonna go um, for
mm.
uh, for
Zelda.
most anticipated, and
Mhm.
then I'm just looking at the nominations and other things. Most anticipated, best adaptation. Yeah, this was a new category. Did you see this?
Oh yeah,
So
the best. That's actually
Arcane
cool.
and
Yeah,
whatever comes with it,
and
and
yeah, I
and it's
Cyberpunk Edge
Arcane,
Runners.
Cyberpunk, Edge
Yeah,
Runners.
I think it has
Listen,
to be
listen.
has to be
Best
Arcane.
that's the
Has to be Arcane.
adaptation, Arcane. Like it's not
Yeah,
even a
has,
debate.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
this was called most impactful adaptation, I would actually go with Cyberpunk because
Yeah.
Cyberpunk made Cyberpunk like
Mm-hmm.
people go
Mm-hmm.
back to Cyberpunk and play it.
Crazy, crazy.
Do you remember? Did you see? I think you saw. We were talking about this. Cyberpunk got more players in
Yeah,
its
playing at
peak
the same
than
time
Witcher's
than
ever
with,
did.
yeah, that's insane.
And
That is
this
insane.
was like last this year, like in
Mhm.
June or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
They have the Cuphead show, which I watched. It was fine. It was not even that good. I still need to play Cuphead, but I watched the show. It was fine.
Mhm.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I really like, but Arcane is
Yeah,
just way better.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
fucking Uncharted.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so and then they have best indie debut indie. It's gonna be Stray winning this shit. Whatever, why
Yeah.
bother?
Yeah.
They have content creator fucking Carl Jacobs can fuck off. Uh, best
Mm,
multiplayer: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2,
I'm
Splatoon
guessing
3,
it's gonna be Call of
and
Duty.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My vote is on Overwatch 2, even though that shit is god awful.
No way. I'm sorry. There's no. There's
Okay.
so much wrong with. I love the game, but there's
So
so
would you
much
give?
wrong
I'm
with
not gonna give it
multiplayer.
to fucking Call of Duty nor
Call of Duty,
Multiverses
it's
because
like a
Multiverses
well-oiled
died
machine
in
at
the
this point.
same month that it came out. uh, okay, so maybe Splatoon, bro. I don't know,
uh,
man.
it's
Then you
gonna
have
be
best
funny.
sports slash racing. I think this is gonna be for Gran Turismo. Don't really
Mm.
care whatever wins. I don't know how FIFA is always nominated. Best team strategy. I think this is gonna go to fucking. Oh, it could go to Mario, but there's apparently a new Total War Warhammer game, so maybe that shit.
Total War Warhammer 3, I
Yeah,
actually hope gets that
might
because
be.
that's a
Then
very good
then
game.
it's best family, but in reality, this is called best Nintendo game. It's
Yeah,
probably
right.
gonna go for Lego Star Wars actually, but I could
Mm,
see
yeah.
Kirby winning because Kirby was pretty good. I played
Mhm.
Kirby. Uh, best fighting. This, guess what game is in best fighting?
What?
Sifu.
Yeah, of course.
But it makes no
Why would it not?
sense for the best game
Fighting
designed primarily around head-to-head combat. How the fuck is Sifu a head-to-head combat?
hand hand to
He-
hand combat.
no,
That's all.
head-to-head. This is basically the
Oh, you mean
2D
like the
type
2D?
fightings where
Yeah.
you're fighting
Okay.
like
Okay. Okay.
Tekken's, JoJo,
Yeah.
Bizarre
No, I get that. I
Multiverses.
get that. I get that. Yeah. See,
I'm gonna
Sifu is the
vote
one that
Sifu
should
though,
be.
because I love
Sifu.
Sifu.
Yeah, great. But Sifu is the one that should be winning best indie. Like it's gonna be
Yeah,
Stray.
I would vote
But
for I would vote for Sifu. I adored Sifu. I thought Sifu was fantastic.
mhm.
Best role playing. It's Elden Ring. Why even bother?
Yeah. Yeah.
Best action adventure. God of War, Plague Tale,
God of
Horizons, fucking
War,
Stray,
baby.
bro. What? And Tunic.
Alright.
Tunic. I have not played Tunic, but I heard nothing but fantastic things about it. It's
Mm.
gonna be God of War. I want to dive into why I don't think when we get there, I'm gonna explain well my reasons for why I think no game other than God of War or Elden Ring should win.
Mm,
Should win Game of the Year. Best action game. There's Sifu here as well again, and I would vote for Sifu. There's also Bayonetta, Call of Duty, whatever. Nobody cares.
mhm.
Best VR. Let's give it to Among Us VR.
Just for
Just
that
for the
one video on
love.
Twitter. Just
Innovation
for
in
that.
accessibility. There's a lot. I would actually go with Last of Us Part One because I feel like Naughty Dog keeps knocking out of the park.
Yeah, they
The
do
fact that a
amazing.
blind person can play the game from start to finish, that
Hmm.
alone should get the
Yeah.
accessibility.
Hmm.
Best community support. There's Fortnite. So Fortnite. Uh, best mobile game can fuck off. It's gonna probably be the Marvel one. Best
Hmm.
indie. Okay. So they have Cult of the Lamb, which I still want to play because I heard nothing but
Apparently, is
fantastic things.
very very good.
It's so
Like,
cool. I read about
mhm.
it that like you can your like village, you
Yeah.
can put your like Twitch viewers into
Yeah,
your
it's not.
village
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they can
yeah,
play
yeah,
with
yeah,
you
yeah.
and shit. That's so cool.
Hmm.
Neon White. I heard cool things about it, but Sifu, which for me again the best one I played this year. Stray
And yeah, it's gonna
and
be
Tunic
straight.
again. It's gonna be Stray.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
straight
fucking Stray.
easily. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Best
yeah.
ongoing. Could not give two shits. Games for impact. I never know. I usually write down the game that wins this so I can play it, but I'm not even gonna say because I don't know any game in here.
Mhm.
Best performance, bro. It's not even
It's
fair. It's
Christopher
not even
Judge.
fucking
Like,
fair.
what's insane to me is I would actually so like Sunny
You would
Suljic is
nominate Freya?
nominated. I would nominate I can't remember her name, I feel so bad, but she plays Freya. I would take her
I would.
over him.
I would no.
Right.
I would take out the actress who plays
Oh, is it Aloy?
yeah, Aloy.
Is she
Aloy.
really nominated? Oh my
Either her or the Plague Tail girl. Here's the thing.
I thought she's supposed to be really good.
Plague Tail. No, it is. She is. But there's some time she doesn't know if she's gonna stick with a French accent or an English accent. So from now and then she sounds French, but then she sounds English, and it's so
Mm.
annoying.
But the
No,
thing is
actually,
with like
looking at
I
this, I
don't
would
know.
take out Eloy. Eloy,
Yeah, that's what I
she
was
shouldn't be
thinking.
here.
But
I
it's
have
funny
not
because
played
out of
Immortality, so I have no idea who
yeah.
Manon Gage is. But I'll
Mhm.
take out Horizon Eloy.
The funny thing is that like between like if you look at the three performances for me, where Christopher Judge is as Kratos, Sonny Suljic as Atreus, and I feel really bad I don't know her name for Freya.
Hmm.
I would actually out of the three of those, I'd say the worst, and not saying that it's bad, but the worst for me is Sonny Suljic. So like I can't believe he got
I
nominated
thought he was
over.
great.
I
But
thought
I
he's
get it. I get
fantastic,
it. I
but I
get it.
think I
If I had
think
to pick two
yeah.
performances of the game, it would be Kratos and Freya. But I thought he was
Yeah.
really good in the role. Okay, so we also get this is where I might be in the minority here.
Danielle Bisutti. Yeah,
Is
that's
that
her name.
the person who plays Freya?
For Freya. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
this is
You
where
know,
I'm.
apparently, just really, really quick.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a scene where, and I won't say what it is because it's a spoiler, but there's a scene where the director said he went to go talk to her to either like give her notes, check if she was okay, and he said where they film, it's like this carpet,
Mm-hmm.
and he said the carpet was wet because of her tears
The
after
body
so
said
many
tears.
takes
Okay.
because because she was giving so much emotion for every single take.
She
And
was
the one thing I do know about acting
fantastic.
is that you do takes again and again and again and again, like countless. But she was giving it her all every single take. And that's insane.
The more it
Yeah.
takes, the bigger it gets. Am I right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So, I
so
really wish he was nominated. But yeah,
so
It's Christopher Judge.
it's good for Judd.
He's got
So
he's
we're
got it.
getting into the technical awards. You're probably gonna. I'm probably gonna be in the minority here, but I really think Horizon should take the technical awards. The
Oh yeah,
one thing I can
absolutely.
say about
Yeah.
Horizon, and that's
Looks
like the
amazing.
biggest praise, Horizon is technically perfect. It's a technically perfect game.
Yeah.
Everything in that game is fantastic. What drags Horizon down is
The
its
character
dog
and
shit
story.
story and dog shit characters.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah,
world is fantastic,
yeah.
the graphics are amazing. The gameplay is really good. I don't think it's fantastic, but it's really good. Um, but like every little thing about the game, like, did you? I don't think I sent you. There's a guy explaining how they did the waves in Horizon and how
That yeah,
fucking hard
I
it
did see
was
that.
because it has
Yeah,
like to be a generated thing and it was really hard to do on a PS5,
yeah,
let alone
I
put it on
completely.
the PS4. And I'm
Hmm.
like, this game deserves a lot of technical praise. To me, it's still the prettiest game on the PS5, without a doubt. There's an area in Horizon where you can glide over. That looks stunning. To me, Horizon Forbidden West is the best looking game out there. So I think in technical, this is a reward award for best audio design. I would legit give it to Horizon because Horizon, like, if you stay like in like the grass, you can hear the fucking grass move. You can hear the robot like fucking 5 meters away from you. You can hear the people that are still in the village if you're near a village. Like, it's so well done. It's
Hmm.
fantastic. So I would give it that.
Great.
Then best score in music, I would give it to fucking God of War. It's not
God of
even.
War.
Maybe
You know,
Elden Ring
maybe
too.
Elden Ring. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
the boss
just
fight Elden
realized like
Rings are really
yeah.
like,
What's that like? Dun, dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 like
And
that.
then we have
Oh my god.
best art direction for outstanding creative or technical achievement in
Ooh,
artistic
I would
design and
actually give
animation.
that to what's that really weird,
Scorn?
not horror? Yeah, Horn. Yeah, I would give it to
No, I'll
that.
give it to Horizon. Again,
Yeah,
this is
really.
technical achievements. Again, to me, that's Horizon. I feel like
Like
Horizon is technically
art
perfect.
direction. That I've never seen a game look that unique and cool. Like
Then best narrative, lol.
yeah,
God of War. And
yeah,
then
absolutely.
best game direction, I would also give God of
And
War, to
God
be
of War.
honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not like
That
Elden
man,
Ring
that
had
man
that good of game direction.
That man's acceptance speech is gonna take us all to sleep, but he will
Yeah.
be deserved.
So now Game of the
Let's
Year. So the
go.
nominees are Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War
Hmm.
Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade 3. Now, before you get into why, I'm gonna just get into it. So I'm gonna rank them by chance of winning.
Okay.
So at -5% is Xenoblade 3. No shot Xenoblade 3 wins. If
Yeah.
Xenoblade 3 wins, I'll smash Mateam's PS5
Yeah.
because there's just no chance.
Yeah.
Even Nintendo will be shocked if Xenoblade wins. Then above Xenoblade, I would put Plague Tale because
Mm.
I feel like Plague Tale was nominated because of its reception, but it's not a very popular game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like Plague Tale, again, I'm like 5 hours in. Um, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, but it's mostly the same as I got in the previous one. Again, with a
Yeah.
lot of quality of life improvements. In this game,
Mhm.
they made like so in the previous game you had upgrades to the like your like slingshot and other stuff, and you had to
Yeah.
collect specific things to upgrade that. Like you need 2 sticks to upgrade the slingshot. Now they call it materials. It's general, and now you just need to collect materials. And I'm like, that's so much better because now I don't have
Mhm.
to look around for fucking sticks on the ground. You need 2 sticks. It was so annoying, and now in this one, it's like
Mhm.
just get materials and you can upgrade whatever you want. So
Yeah.
again, a lot of quality of life improvements. The writing of the game is still there. Again, a bit. There's a few sections in the game that it's a bit boring, but I feel like it's because of the game itself and not the story. Because the game is very puzzle oriented, and sometimes the puzzles are so easy that it's just like, I'm bored. This is not fun. Uh, so there's a few segments in the game there. So again, it's mostly the other one, just with the quality of life improvements. So I don't think, again, well received by critics, but I don't think the audience cares that much. So I'll give like a 1%
Mm.
chance for Plague Tale to get it. If it got it, I would honestly be shocked and happy because I feel like it's a double A studio, and double A
Yeah.
studio winning a Game of the Year would be awesome. But
That'd be pretty
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
then I will
All right.
put Horizon Forbidden West above. Again,
Mm-hmm.
technical marvel, but the reason why Horizon cannot get it is because Horizon. I feel like PlayStation always dooms Horizon. In
Yeah.
2017, it came out like next to Sekiro or some other game. I can't remember
Yeah.
which game.
Spider-Man, I think.
No, Spider Man
Did
was
it?
2018.
Or was it? Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't remember.
2018.
Some no, and Horizon came out 2017.
Oh.
It came
Yeah, I don't
next
know
to
what
other
year
game. I
it
think
was.
it was Sekiro, and nobody
Yeah.
cared about Horizon. And
Hmm.
then this year it came like a week before Elden Ring, so nobody cared about Horizon again.
Yeah.
So they kind of doomed twice Horizon.
Yeah.
And again, I really like it. I think it's a technical marvel. It's a good game, but I just don't think can people don't remember it, so they won't
No.
remember when voting.
No.
And then I would put it third, uh, Stray,
Stray. Yeah.
Stray, and I'm gonna say
Um,
it.
if
I
it
think
wins,
Stray
I'm
is a
gonna be
dark
so
horse
mad.
to win. No,
I'm
man,
gonna be
I can
so
totally
mad if
see
it
a
wins.
chance of Stray winning. The
I'm gonna be
normies
so
love this fucking game. Again, I thought it was a good game. It's
God.
incredibly short. It's a 4 hour game,
Yeah, well, the thing
and
that
that's
that
fine with
upsets
games being
me
four
is
hours.
that,
But
like,
it's
when I see
yeah.
like competent reviewers be like, amazing, and all they're talking about is that you're playing as a cat. It's like, yes, I get it. I have a cat. I love
No,
cats, okay, but I
I can.
need
Okay, so
more.
I think the
Uh,
game, like graphically wise, is beautiful. That's something that should
mm.
be taken into consideration. I
Yeah, no,
think
it's
the
really pretty.
story is sweet and nice. It's a
Mm.
bit underdeveloped for me. I feel like there's a lot of aspects of the story that could have, if the game was longer, they would have been more meaningful and had more depth, and I would have enjoyed that. But it's a nice, sweet story about humans, not humans, but like
Oh,
beings.
yeah.
Again, it's nice. It's nothing too deep. It's pretty straightforward, but it's pretty nice. And I think there's a lot of puzzles in Stray that are really good. Like really, some puzzles are really challenging, and it will leave you like thinking a bit. Like, okay, what do I do here, right? Again, it's just 4 hours though. It's a 4 hour game. And I know. Time this length doesn't matter. Uh, because like Inside won also Game of the Year, and Inside was like 2 hours long. But Inside had other aspects that made it be such a great game. While Stray, I think it's a good game. I would advise you if you have it for free. I would definitely advise you. If it's like $10 online, I would advise you still. The game is selling for $30. I don't think it's worth $30, and definitely I don't think it should be Game of the Year. But I know a lot of people love this game, and it's shocking. It's true, but I would not be surprised if it won Game of the Year. I would not be surprised because a lot of people love this game. And I think there was a poll they did asking like, "Oh, which game do you think you win? It wins Game of the Year." Obviously, the major was Elden Ring or God of War, but there was like a nice percentage for Stray. So it left me like thinking Stray does have a shot. And then I guess we're left to the two big ones. I would say God of War is second, and Elden Ring is number one. Elden Ring was just so like groundbreaking, and these games usually go for the groundbreaking. They don't go for the best one, I guess. This sounds
Yeah.
weird, but I swear both are fantastic. It's like last year I remember people
Mhm.
saying, "Oh, Ghost of Tsushima." No, not last year. The other year.
No.
Ghost of
God, I'm
Tsushima
so glad
should
that.
win Game of the Year. It's like before Ghost of Tsushima, Hades should win Game of the Year, and even
Yes.
and
Oh
before
man.
Hades, I'm sorry, Last of Us deserves it, but
Hmm. Yeah.
I feel like they usually go for the more groundbreaking. And since Last of Us was the most groundbreaking, It Takes Two was the most groundbreaking of last year. It was like it was basically the renaissance of co-op games. When was the
Yeah.
last time we got a like full-on co-op game, a great co-op game? Portal Two. When was that? Um, and this year they're gonna go for the groundbreaking open world game. I feel like they're gonna go with that
Yeah.
more. I
I think
think
they're gonna go
God of War is gonna sweep the technical shit and the best game, action game, best whatever,
narrative,
whatever,
all that
narrative,
stuff. Yeah.
whatever. And
And then
then
Elden Ring.
and then
Yeah.
Christopher Judge is finally gonna get. He didn't get the performance in 2018.
Yeah, but that's because he was going up against the guy who did Red
Red
Dead
Dead, yeah.
2. Yeah, so
That
I
year,
got
I was shocked they God of War won. I for real thought it was gonna be
it. Mhm.
Red Dead, but again,
You
God
know
of
what I
War
was
was
shocked? I was shocked.
groundbreaking for the genre,
Yeah,
right?
I was
So
shocked that Red Dead won best score over God of War. I remember thinking
yeah,
like that's
even though I
so weird.
adore Red Dead score,
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
that's so weird to me. I really hope they get the score for this one. I
yeah, I
really,
really hope
really hope.
Christopher Judge gets this
Yeah,
the
I feel like he must. He's a shoe, and he has
yeah.
to be.
There's
Like
no
no
way
one.
major upset if that happens.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, is there any like thing you want to say about the Game Awards?
No, I'm looking forward to watching them. I really think that
Man,
like they don't get enough
it
credit
sucks because
for.
this year I'm not working the day after, so I could actually stay up and watch it with
Yeah,
you. But I forgot
I
I'm going
will.
to switch
Yeah,
it and then it's so
yeah.
annoying.
I will. Like this, every award show has this problem that it drags on too long because
Oh
there's too
yeah,
many
Game Awards
awards.
always
But I
fucking
mean,
drag.
I mean,
But
I
they
will
got
say
better. They got better
they
though.
do. Yeah,
They got
they
better.
get better. I feel like they get better every year,
Yeah.
and you can't
There
say that
was
about a
one
lot of
year
award
that
shows.
the award show was like an hour and a half, but the
Yeah,
award show was like 5 hours long because the other three and a half
yeah,
hours was fucking
yeah.
razor blades,
Yeah, yeah,
ads and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Bro, it was so
Yeah,
bad.
that was bad. That was
The
bad.
shit
Um,
fought or at least you can laugh.
yeah, no, no. But anyways, I will. Yeah, I'm also. I know people would flip if they did this with Oscars and Golden Globes and stuff.
Hmm.
I think it's such a cool idea and gets people excited that they showcase trailers for upcoming games or like announcements for upcoming games
Hmm.
in the Game Awards. That is such a cool idea.
They do
It
that
will
though.
never happen. It will never happen with movies, but I wish they did
Oh,
that.
you're okay. You're saying that they should do
Yeah,
the same at Oscars.
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
it's
I
because Oscars is
really,
more like a formal thing,
yeah.
while
But you can
the Game
imagine how
Awards is more
cool
for
it
the
would be.
consumers.
Like how cool it would be if they like premiere like,
Bro, you're
and
not gonna
do for
say
like
how
indie
cool would it
games
be if they premiered a Quantumania trailer on the Oscars.
No, I was about to
Paul
say like
Rudd, who loves that guy?
do like an A24 because that's so cool. Showcase an indie trailer
Yeah, but
at
do
the
you know how
Oscars. Like,
low the
oh my God. They
Oscars
will
ratings
never
are?
happen. It will never happen.
Yeah, it won't.
Because
It
and
won't.
also you don't have the amount of respect that indie titles get at award shows for video games is so cool, and you just don't get that in like
Only the
uh
nominees won. Only the nominated
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I remember reading like something that Hades sales doubled after the Game Awards
Yeah.
because people
As
were
well
like,
they
"Oh, this
should
game looks
because it's
great. I'm
so
gonna play it."
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hades is fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Cuphead was
Yeah.
kind of also the same thing.
Mhm.
Celeste also got a lot of push because
Mhm.
of the Game Awards.
LS,
'Cause-
yeah,
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 so yeah, okay,
yeah.
we will
All right,
if there's something meaningful that happens in the Game Awards, we will talk about it. But
yeah.
if it's just bullshit
Hoping
after
for
bullshit,
some maybe some Mass Effect news,
no, they're
maybe.
gonna
Let's
they already
go.
know the
Come
one
on.
thing they already that's heavily rumored is
I
that they're
thought that
gonna
was. I
show
thought they
Star
said last
Wars.
year they're not doing
They're
anything.
gonna do Star Wars and they're gonna show the date as well for Star Wars
Mm,
Jedi
all right.
Survivor. I think that's
I
what it's
thought the
called.
date's already there, or did they just do
No,
the cinematic?
bro, I think we both had the Mandela effect because I
Yeah,
also thought they already had announced the date, but they said
yeah.
no.
They didn't.
No,
Oh,
it was a
no.
leak that said the game is
All right.
reportedly coming
Okay.
out in
Fine.
March, but it's not
Yeah.
confirmed, which
Okay.
is
I,
insane. The game is so it's 3 months away, and you're gonna announce that we haven't
yeah.
even seen anything. But whatever. Um,
Whatever.
it should
Okay.
be good. It should be
God,
annoying as fuck as well.
I would love it if they did please something for Dragon
Do you
Age,
have a
something
Jedi
for
Fallen Order for
for
the PS4
no, but
or
like
PC?
for the PS. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
PS4.
No,
You have the
I
free
mean
PS5 if you
in
want to play
terms
it on the
of
PS5.
yeah, but no, man. In terms of I want something for my two, which I get it. It's different. It's not as good now, but I just come on, Mass Effect or Dragon Age, something, please.
We'll
I
see.
don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if
We'll
it's gonna
see,
happen.
bro. If they know
But we'll see.
something out of my shit, like I don't know, Super Mario Odyssey 2, I'll fucking flip.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't. Nintendo barely does anything
Mm-hmm.
decent in these events, but
Yeah.
whatever. All right,
Yeah.
so let's move on to the last
Really,
thing that Mateen wanted to talk about.
I just
I
want
have
to
lost
vent
all
it very
hope
quick.
and
Very.
will to talk about this shit. So, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I'm sorry. Look, like game that three people, including us, play, Avengers.
So
They're
the
like, oh,
in
we're
reality,
dropping
one person.
Bucky. Yeah, we're dropping Bucky, and it's like, okay, cool, new character, I guess. Hopefully, it's not like a clone of the other characters. And they're like, oh, look, you can buy skins, which fine, you can buy the Winter Soldier skin from the movie. Great.
That was so
And then
sick.
they have the exact same skin, but without
Design.
the helmet for the exact same price. And I'm like,
No, there's three
What?
versions. There's one with the
Three?
mask and the
Oh,
goggles. There's one where he only has the mask, but without the goggles.
oh,
And there's one where he
what
doesn't have the mask nor the goggles. There's a
what are
bundle. You
you?
can buy the three together. It's
Oh
like
my
2,000
God.
coins,
What are
Avengers
you
coins. I don't know the name.
doing?
Credits, whatever.
Like, every time I think they can't mismanage this game anymore, they do. It's
No, it's.
incredible.
I think this Bucky
Ah,
was the nail in the coffin for me.
dude,
There's
like,
nothing else they can do, and
and I,
I haven't played with Bucky, but I seen other people play. The guy
yeah,
said Bucky only has one ability that's not in the other heroes.
great.
Everything else is from either Black Widow or Captain America.
Captain America, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He said his ultimate is basically the Captain America ultimate, but with like he does an extra animation, I guess.
Oh my God. Yeah, like I mean, it sucks because I keep hearing people. This is where I will always disagree with people on this. They say the gameplay sucks. I'm
No,
like, no,
it's a
the
great gameplay. It's just
gameplay is great.
yeah, it's great.
Like
It's
it's
just the
just
game itself is
yeah,
doesn't
it's
have
just it,
variety. It's the same thing
it
over and over.
really could have been such a great game.
No,
But
they
anyways,
should have.
that's all. All I
Crystal
wanted to say is just
Dynamics. I don't know
kick a
if you
dead
know
horse.
this, but Square Enix is no longer affiliated with the game.
Really,
Yeah, there's
it's
a
just
new
like get that
company
away
bought
from
a
us.
new company bought a certain number of Square Enix titles, and one of
Yeah.
them was Avengers.
Oh,
So
wow.
Square
All
Enix
right.
is not longer no long no
Hey
sorry
man.
they bought sub companies out of Square Enix, and one of the companies was Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
So and Crystal Dynamics is responsible
Mm,
for
sure.
this chair squeaks a lot. It was responsible for the Avengers, so they took the game. So if you like log into Avengers now, the Square Enix symbol is no longer there. They took it out.
Wow.
But
Huh.
I'm actually curious to see how the menu looks because there's no room for more characters. Where the fuck did they put
Oh
Bucky
yeah.
there?
They're just gonna
Um,
make everyone smaller.
yeah, there's still
Um.
rumors. Still rumors. So one guy was saying, I think someone asked like one of the leakers. There's like
Yeah.
two famous leakers for Avengers.
Two.
They asked them, "What are the plans after Bucky?" And they said, "From what I've seen, after Bucky, they're gonna focus on putting more skins in the game, of course,
Yeah.
and keeping like events coming, like the same events coming over and over again. They might introduce one character a year, so they might have one new character a year, but it's not gonna have like someone asked, oh, but can we see like something out of like a Black Panther expansion? And they said
Yeah.
no,
Right. No, that's not right.
that was only for Black Panther. They're not gonna do that again. And I'm like, that's such a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
If you got one Black Panther expansion per year, that would have been great. Like
Yeah.
one per year is enough. You should be dropping like I'm accepting three new characters per year. I think one every 3 months is great. Okay, even two characters a year, where one of these characters gets the expansion treatment, the other gets like the more like. So imagine like next year let's say they will release She-Hulk and Scarlet Witch. Give She-Hulk the more smaller treatment, and for Scarlet Witch make an actual fucking expansion, like something, an event, let's say. But they
Yeah.
said they have the new company that has Crystal Dynamics doesn't care about the game.
Yeah.
They said just keep it going, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the new
Yeah, that makes
director
sense.
that's running the game said it they don't have the budget, which is pretty
Yeah.
fucking insane. You're an Avengers game, but
I
they said
know.
they don't
Like
have the
really?
budget to make any another Black
Uh,
Panther expansion.
oh well. In any
It's,
case,
it's
yeah,
that. It's
that was
that. It's that.
basically it. It's
I'll
that. It's
eventually. I
that.
think I'll eventually go back just to play Bucky, but it's
Mhm.
that. It's not. There's nothing you
Yeah.
can do about the game. I'm happy. I got
All
the
right.
platinum.
Mm-hmm.
I played the shit out of the game. I put in like almost 300 hours into that shit.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I had my fix. You can't
Yeah.
tell me I didn't take advantage of the game.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's that.
All right.
All
Well,
right. That was
it's
really long. That was long. One of our longest ones, an hour and 40
yeah.
minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
go into the let's recommend because I assume we both recommend fucking God of War
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Go for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
All
but
right.
yeah, that finishes it
Play
up.
it.
We're gonna.
It's a
I'm
good
now gonna
game.
go into Fortnite and finish the battle
All right.
pass, and Overwatch and also finish the battle pass. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.